Wow, I never saw that coming. Saw that coming tonight. I never saw this coming tonight at Money in the Bank tonight. Name my topic tonight is called Last Laugh in LA. Was Money in the Bank 2025 worth watching? I'm the Godfather Soldier, Louis Fleming. But before I open up the show tonight, I'm gonna show a little bit of music. For those of you who know that today's the 30th, 40th anniversary of one of the greatest cult classic movies of the 80s, The Goons. I'm gonna open up the song, the movie with the theme song, The Goons Are Good Enough by Cyndi Lauper. So stick around, right back. Break down my review. I'll be right back and play the music. Yep, happy 40th anniversary of the best movies of the cult classic of the 80s. 40 years ago today on this day, June 7th, 1985, The Goonies. and for me, it's good enough. As words of Cyndi Lauper. And by the way, for those of you mentioned that about the part 2 of the Goonies music video, that wasn't the WWE music video Goonies Good Enough. That wasn't. That didn't air on June the 7th, June the 6th, 1985. It was aired on MTV June the 8th, 1985. Made a little boo there yesterday. Sorry about that. So let's go down with some of the things I'm not happy about tonight, and some of the things that made me very happy tonight. Let's get to tonight show. Wait, hold on, wait, Money in the Bank. What they weren't in Wait, they were in Inglewood, not Los Angeles. Inglewood, California. They were not in Inglewood, California. They were not in Los Angeles. Now they were in LA. So the I'm changed. Oh wait, wait. I shouldn't wait. Yeah, they were in Inglewood, California, which is part of the Los Angeles area. Yeah. So I shouldn't change it to. I just say, I can say incredible and incredible. I can say Last Laugh in LA was Money in the Bank worth watching, or I can say amazing and impressive in Inglewood, or I can just say amazing and incredible in Inglewood. But I just say Last Laugh in LA was Last Laugh in LA. So let's get started with the show. Okay, pre-show rivals, World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso is shown arriving with Cody Rhodes. Logan Paul is shown arriving with his crew. The man whore Becky Lynch is in the building. Intercontinental Champion Dirty Dum Dum Mysterio is talking with WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Liv Morgan backstage. The Money in the Bank briefcases are shown hanging over the ring. Seth Rollins is shown riding with Paul Heyman. Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, Alexa Bliss, and her little doll sitting backstage. LA Knight is shown arriving. Rhea Ripley gets a huge pop when he is shown on the screen. We go to live into the Inouye Dome where we see the big pyrokinetics display. Tonight marks the 28 years in the day that Michael Cole made his play-by-play debut at Shotgun Saturday Night. Yep, that was June 7th, 1997. June 7th, 1997. Yeah. Women's Money in the Bank. Here we go. Let's get started with the Women's Money in the Bank. Wait, hold on. Let me play a little bit of music for start with the show on the For the Love of Money by the OJ's. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Let me play a little music. So. Yeah, okay, here we go. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez versus Naomi versus Stephanie McMahon versus Julia versus Rhea Ripley. Here we go. Referees Jason Ayers, Dan Engler, and Raj Zapata. The bell rings and all 6 competitors stare at each other. Ripley, after Julia who attacks Bliss and who attacks Becerra, who's competing in her second match of the day. Naomi and Perez go at it. Naomi and Bliss and Ripley are left in the ring. Naomi sends Bliss into Ripley. Becerra tries to get a ladder in the ring, but Naomi baseball slides her ass into her. Bitch. Well, I don't care what Jim Uso says, because her damn wife is a damn narcissist. Bitch ass. Naomi brings the ladder into the ring, but Rhea Ripley sends Bliss into the ring, knocking Naomi out of the ring. Ripley smiles at Bliss and she smiles back. They look up her at the briefcase and wave at each other. Bliss goes after the ladder, but Julia and Perez cut them off. But they knock Ripley and Bliss out of the ring and stare at each other. Becerra wipes them all out with a springboard crossbody block. Becerra knocks them out all down. Hits Julia with a running meteor in the corner. Becerra lays Perez out with a double underhook gut buster. Becerra picks up a ladder, but Naomi kicks her in the head. Naomi hits an X Factor on the side of the ladder, and Becerra is out. Naomi picks the ladder up and hits Ripley in the midsection as she gets on the apron. Ripley dives Ripley's head in the ladder. Naomi throws the ladder at Bliss, but she ducks. Bliss takes Naomi and Perez down onto the ladder, and she crushes them with a running senton. Bliss gets to the crowd going and throws Naomi out of the ring. Bliss grabs the ladder, but Julia drop kicks her down. Julia grabs the ladder and sets her up in the corner. Julia attacks Bliss. Bliss reverses a whip into the corner, but Julia puts the brakes on. Bliss charges, but Julia sends her into the ladder. Julia then curb stomps Bliss into the ladder. The ladder falls onto Julia, who sells it, and she attacks Becerra. Julia knees Becerra in the face and dumps her out of the ring. Julia grabs the ladder but throws it aside as Ripley drags herself to the apron. Ripley challenges Julia and punches her back. Ripley puts her back in the corner and drop kicks her down. Perez starts to slide a ladder into the ring. Ripley grabs it and Perez pulls in before hitting her with a shinning wizard. Naomi tries to catch catch Ripley with a wheelbarrow bulldog, but Ripley slams her onto the ladder. A mommy chant fires up. Ripley leans on the ladder onto the broken bottom rope and accidentally drops it on Perez's head as she crawls into the ring. Ripley grabs Perez for a razor's edge, but she counters it into her hurricanrana onto the ladder. Perez crushes Ripley with a springboard moonsault onto the ladder. Perez sets up the ladder up in the center of the ring and climbs, but Bliss rips her down. Julia punches Bliss in the face and knocks her out of the ring. Perez and Julia are climbing on the opposite ends of the ladder. Perez has a mark on her chin. Ripley grabs at the ladder, so Perez gets down and beats her down. Julia and Perez put Ripley on the ladder and try to sandwich it onto her, but the brackets locks. They struggle for a moment before bringing it down on Ripley. They then knock the ladder in the ring over onto and push Ripley out of the ring. Julia and Perez bury Ripley under a bunch of ladders at ringside. In the ring, Naomi sets up the ladder up the Money in the Bank briefcases. Naomi climbs, but Becerra runs into the ring and pulls her down. Naomi knees away at Vaquera, but Vaquera drives her into the corner. Vaquera drives Julia into Naomi and takes her out. Vaquera viciously twists Naomi's knee with a dragon screw off the ropes. Perez grabs Vaquera, but Vaquera lays her out with a net snap suplex. Vaquera climbs the ladder, but Julia pulls the La Primavera down. Julia applies the octopus stretch. Vaquera powers through the pain and climbs the ladder with Julia on her back. Julia slides off and pulls Vaquera off with a German suplex. Julia starts to climb, but Naomi slides her through the ladder's rungs, and kicks her. Naomi starts to climb over, but Julia slips up and hits Naomi with a German suplex off the ladder. Bliss then kicks Julia off the ladder. Bliss climbs to the top and reaches for the briefcase. Perez climbs to the ladder and starts to brawl with Bliss. Vaquera sets up another ladder up next to them and climbs. Naomi climbs to the opposite side of the Vaquera's ladder. Bliss gets down and pulls Naomi down. Julia starts to climb. Bliss grabs Vaquera and powerbombs her off the ladder. Perez and Julia are left at the top of the ladder. Perez and Julia jump off as Bliss attempts to knock the ladders off. Perez and Julia double team Bliss and take her out. Perez and Julia set a ladder up on the side of the flapjack. Bliss onto it. Bliss did not break the fall. Ouch! That got it hurt. Crowd chants, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" Perez then turns on Julia and slams her off the ladder a few times. Julia sends Perez over the top rope, but she holds on. As Perez holds the ropes, she sees Ripley emerge from the pile of ladders. Perez tries to escape, but Ripley takes her out. Perez gets in the ring and squares off with Julia. Ripley viciously slams Julia down before hitting Naomi with a super kick. Ripley then grabs Perez and launches her with a razor's edge into Naomi. Ripley lays her into the ladder in the corner and across the second turnbuckle. Ripley grabs Julia in an electric slayer and slams her face first onto the ladder and performs in the corner. Ripley stands tall in the center of the ring, and the crowd gives her a great ovation. Ripley sets up a ladder under the briefcase. A "Let's Go Mommy" chant picks up. This is huge. Ripley starts to climb, but Vaquera pulls her down. Ripley immediately floors Vaquera with a headbutt to the face. Ripley pulls a ladder into the ring and bridges it from the rung of the standing ladder to the second turnbuckle. Ripley grabs Vaquera and sets up for a riptide onto the ladder bridge. Vaquera elbows out Ripley, puts her in an electric chair, but Vaquera pulls Ripley onto the ladder bridge and delivers the Devil's Kiss to a huge ovation. Vaquera climbs to the top rope and grabs the briefcase. Perez immediately scrambles up and pulls her down. They brawl at the ladder bridge. Perez drives Vaquera's head into the ladder and knocks her off the canvas. Bliss climbs the ladder, but Perez cuts her off. Naomi pulls Bliss down and throws her down. Vaquera gets back on the ladder bridge and pulls Perez down. Vaquera goes for a slam, but Perez blocks it. Bliss and Naomi set up another ladder bridge on the other side, standing on the sides of the standing ladder. Bliss kicks Naomi down. Bliss and Perez nearly hit a stereo code reds on Naomi and Vaquera respectively onto the two ladder bridges. Once again, the crowd chants that this match is awesome. Julia was stupid move, WWE. Stupid move. Well, we know what? I bet you sometime, but once she cashes in, this is what I believe. This is what I predict. What's gonna happen? Naomi's gonna cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Tiffy time, and then what's gonna happen? She's gonna become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And this is what I believe might happen. Jay's gonna come out and she challenge her for the SmackDown Women's title, and challenge her. And some of you think, and fans, and Naomi's gonna thinking this isn't about I know Naomi's gonna be thinking that this isn't about the title she has. This is about revenge, because revenge and stuff, because she took her out. I understand why in the world would you? Now some of you gonna be biased against Jade and for her to retain her retain her SmackDown Women's title. That's why I think. I understand why in the world would you fans want why in the world would you want a woman, a bitch ass like Naomi, win the keep the WWE title, SmackDown with WWE title? Why you want her to win the Money in the Bank? Why in the world would you want a woman who tried to take a woman's livelihood away, put her out of action, like action a woman like Jade at action? Probably might happen some time around soon. Probably probably soon. Probably at SummerSlam. And I don't know, but probably might. I don't know, and I'll bet you what was happening. That Bianca might interfere and cost turn heel on Jade and align herself with Bianca Belair. That was revealed. It was revealed that she was that Bianca was the mastermind behind Jade Cargill's attack, and and that's why she'll cost and that's the reason would be the reason why she cost her the title, the SmackDown title against Jade Cargill, and title against Naomi. That's gonna turn and that's gonna make all the fans complete idiots for like something very stupid. Really stupid. Okay, now we see a commercial. Cody Rhodes stars in a Whitley American Vodka commercial. We see that the next pay-per-view Crown Jewel is coming to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Then the first two night SummerSlam is coming in August. And Triple A Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo is at ringside. Mr. Iguana is also there. He gets a big ovation. Conan is also shown. Earlier today, Dum and Octagon Jr. got in the brawl at Worlds Collide. Mysterio challenged him to a match with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Stupid. Main event: Jey Uso puts the World Heavyweight Championship against the line against Gunther on Raw this Monday. Intercontinental. Now we see this terrible match here. Intercontinental Championship: Dirty Dum Dum with Women's Tag Team Champion Liv Morgan versus Octagon Jr. Referee is Eddie Orengo. The bell rings and Mysterio slides as Octagon goes for a leap. Mysterio whips in the corner, but Octagon scales the ropes and hits a twisting crossbody block. Octagon rolls under the clothesline and hits a handspring head scissor takeover. Mysterio rolls out of the ring, so Octagon catches him with an outside moonsault. Octagon gets. Hold on 1 second. Octagon rolls under the clothesline and hits a handspring into the head scissor takeover. Mysterio rolls out of the ring, so Octagon catches him with an inside moonsault. Octagon gets Mysterio in the ring and sizes him up. Mysterio hits him crotch first onto the rope onto the top rope and uses the tail of his mask to tie him to the rope. Mysterio stomps away at the hand before the referee backs him up. Mysterio poses and the crowd loudly cheers him. Mysterio jumps off the apron, jumps off the bottom rope and stomps the midsection. Mysterio covers his ears as the crowd chants something. Mysterio throws his shirt at Double A and stars at ringside. Mysterio punches away at Octagon before sending him to the corner. Mysterio charges, but Octagon twists away. Octagon kicks him away and comes off the apron, comes off the top rope with a corkscrew and arm drag. Octagon super kicks him down and slingshot his slingshot twist and smash for a 2 count. Octagon pulls Mysterio up to his feet, but Mysterio kicks him and starts up to 3 amigos. 1 amigo, 2 amigos. Octagon blocks the third. Mysterio catches him quickly. Sorry, technical difficulty. Sorry about that. One amigo, two amigos. Octagon blocks the third. Mysterio quickly catches him with a Minichico driver for a 2 count. Mysterio knocks Octagon into a position and signals for a 619. Octagon ducks a 619, goes to the apron. Octagon kicks Mysterio away. It's a slingshot twisting splash for a near fall. Octagon connects with a moss covered 3-handled family cadenza. Moss covered 3-handled family credenza. Oh, referring to Cat in the Hat, that's Cat in the Hat special. Before handing it to the top rope. Liv Morgan gets on the apron and distracts Octagon. Mysterio crouches Octagon on the top rope and drop kicks him into the position. Mysterio connects with a 619 and goes to the top rope for a frog splash to Octagon's spine. Mysterio rolls him over and picks up the win. Winner by pinfall and still Intercontinental Champion, Dirty Dum Dum. That was the worst match I've ever seen. Worst. That was terrible. And did they ever care about banning Liv Morgan from ringside tonight? No, they didn't. Hell no. They didn't do that. They did not do that. Early backstage, Chad Gable was talking with Brutus and Julius Creed. Gable mails a Fireball branded ladder and tells them to put it somewhere. El Grande Americano can't find it. Gable tells the Creeds to make sure to tell him as well. The Creeds are really excited about the ladder. WWE is coming to Fanatics Fest. NXT Great American Bash, Saturday Main Event, and Evolution 2 are coming to Atlanta weekend of July the 12th. The Thomas family is at ringside. They lost their home in devastating wildfire in Los Angeles earlier this year. Now we see this match here, the Intercontinental Championship match. The Women's Intercontinental Championship match, the man whore Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. Referee is Jessica Carr. As Alicia Taylor is doing the ring announcements, Lyra Valkyria attacks Lynch. Oh, if I was Lynch that was attacked. What was I talking about? Probably saying, Valkyrie. Wow, Valkyrie doesn't want to waste time. Valkyrie doesn't want to waste time. Valkyrie attacks Lynch. Valkyrie hits the running crossbody block and throws her around. Valkyrie lifts her and puts her in a ring on the apron for punching her to the floor. Valkyrie's top is coming off, so she asks the referee to help her avoid a wardrobe malfunction. Valkyrie goes for a wrecking ball dropkick to the floor, but Lynch blocks it and pulls her down to the floor. Lynch bounces her off the commentary table and whips her into the barricade. Lynch gets Valkyrie in the ring and hits her running forearms in the corner, followed by a Bexploder for a 1 count. Lynch clubs the spine and chokes her on the middle top rope. Lynch continues to attack, so Valkyrie counters with a black slide pin for a 2 count. Lynch quickly goes for a manhandle slam, but Valkyrie counters into a pin for another 2 count. Valkyrie attempts a Nightwing, but Lynch counters with a slam for a 2 count. Lynch connects with a trio of leg drops for a 2 count, but Lynch bounces Valkyrie off the turnbuckles. There is a dueling chant for Lynch. Hypocrites chant for Lynch. Lynch quickly kicks Valkyrie, and Valkyrie fights back with a hand swinging net breaker. It took a few moments to get up. Valkyrie hits a pair of clotheslines, followed by a striker combination and step up enziguri. Valkyrie connects with a nice gut wrench, sit out powerbomb for a near fall. Valkyrie grabs the Lynch's arm and pulls her up. Valkyrie lifts her up, but Lynch slides her off and sends her into the corner. They trade pins for 2 counts. Lynch blocks her and drop kicks her and flips her over before spiking her with a DDT for a 2 count. Lynch charges, but Valkyrie drops her on the apron. Lynch quickly punches her down and heads to the top rope. Valkyrie cuts her off and elbows away at her. Valkyrie connects with a suplex, followed by a fisherman suplex for a near fall. Near fall. Punch for a near fall. For a near fall and wow. Okay. Both women are down. The crowd starts up with a loud "We want truth" chant. We want truth. Valkyrie grabs Lynch's ankle, but she kicks her away. Lynch goes to the top rope, but Valkyrie cuts her off. Lynch elbows her, but Valkyrie manages to lift her. Lynch counters out with a manhandle slam off the top rope. 1-2. Valkyrie kicks out. Lynch is stunned. Valkyrie rolls out of the ring. Lynch is furious and goes outside to grab her. Valkyrie slaps her in the face, so Lynch slings her into the ring post. Lynch then hits a vicious manhandle slam on the floor. Lynch tries to power an unconscious Valkyrie up, but she can't. Lynch rolls into the ring and breaks the count. Lynch goes to the outside and grabs her, but Valkyrie crushes her with a night ring on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, that was a fast count out. Both women roll out of the ring at the very last moment. They go nose to nose and start trading strikes. Valkyrie gets her on her shoulders, but Lynch slides her off. Using tights for leverage, slides off and rolls her up for a 2 count. Using tights for leverage, they start trading pins. Lynch rolls her up and grabs the tights for the win. That's cheating. That was cheating right there. All you hear that music, that's for the love of money for all of you just watch Money in the Bank tonight. Yeah, hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, Americana grabs the ladder and attacks all the competitors with it, as he does Wade Barrett. Attacks all competitors with it, as he does. Wade Barrett talks about how Chad Gable and Americana have different nipples. They're the same man. It's the same person. Americana grabs a huge ladder against the ring post. Penta kicks Americana in the head and rolls him into the ring. Penta also puts the ladder in the ring. Penta chops Americano's chest and sends him to the opposite corner for a kick. Penta goes for a headstand and slingshot suplex, but Rollins drives the ladder into him. Andrade goes for a dive, but Rollins' kick knocks him out of midair with a ladder. Rollins sets up another ladder under the briefcase, which is far too small. Americano attacks Rollins and hits a torture rack slam onto the ladder. Americano sets up the ladder and starts to climb, but it's too short. Sioka pulls him off the ladder and drives him into it. Sioka leans the ladder against the corner as the crowd chants for tables. Sioka grabs Americano and scoop slams him into the ladder in the corner. Knight comes in and drives Sioka into the ladder before punching away at him. Knight picks up the ladder, but Sioka super kicks him twice before knocking him. Sioka lifts Knight and goes for a Samoan drop onto the ladder, but Knight counters into a nut breaker on the ladder. Knight hits an elbow drop for some theatrics for kicking Sioka out of the ring. Knight sets the ladder up and climbs, but Penta climbs the ladder of the other side. They trade punches at the top rope of the ladder before Penta rocks him with a headbutt. Rollins sets a larger ladder next to them and starts to climb. Americano climbs the ladder on the other side of Rollins' ladder. Sioka gets a third ladder in the ring and sets it up. Penta is knocked down, but he quickly gets up. Andrade tries to leap off the ropes onto the ladder, but he slips. Americano knocks Rollins off the ladder, and Andrade forearms Sioka off the ladder. Knight knocks Penta off Rollins and knocks the ladder off the Americano over. Sioka knocks Andrade's ladder over. Sioka pulls Knight down and hits a Samoan spike. As he does, Rollins hits his Penta with a pedigree. Triple H's move. Rollins, the current guy, Paul Heyman, and Sioka, a former Paul Heyman guy, square off. An OTC chant picks up. Rollins and Sioka begin to brawl. Sioka rocks Rollins with a super kick and signals for a Samoan spike. Rollins ducks it and super kicks him twice. Rollins dives a ladder into Sioka's midsection, leans it against the second turnbuckle. The CM Punk chant picks up. Rollins sets up for a powerbomb, but Sioka lifts him. Rollins slides off and hits a double toe hold into the ladder, followed by a stomp. Sioka rolls out of the ring. Sioka slides another ladder into the ring, and the crowd chants for Penta. Rollins Americano Rollins rolls over the ring ladder, applies an ankle lock. Andrade climbs and tries to go over the upside down Rollins. Penta climbs behind Andrade. Andrade then crushes Americano with a sunset flip off the powerbomb off the ladder. Penta hits Rollins with a suplex off the ladder and onto the ladder and leaning into the corner while Rollins back caught on the side of the ladder. Crowd chants, "This is awesome." Penta and Andrade grab the ladder. Andrade signals for them both to climb. They climb to the ladder on the opposite sides. Each man wants other to grab it. Penta goes for it, but Andrade attacks it. They exchange stiff blows at the top of the ladder. Andrade slides off the ladder and pulls Penta down. Penta soon rocks him with a super kick, and climbs. Andrade goes for another ladder and slams it onto Penta. Andrade sets a ladder bridge up. From the ladder rungs into the second turnbuckle. Knight tries to attack, but Andrade knocks him out of the ring. Penta tries to climb out of the ladder. Andrade stands on the ladder to cut him off. Bridge to cut him off. Andrade sets up for a suplex on the ladder bridge, but Penta counters Penta hits a wild mix and destroyer on the ladder, and the ladder buckles a bit. Sioka attacks Penta and drives him to the ladder. Sioka mocks Penta and kicks him. Knight pulls Sioka out of the ring and punches away at him before driving him into the barricade. Knight sets up another ladder bridge from the ring apron to the barricade. Sioka uppercuts Knight, but Knight fights back and drives him to the ring steps. Knight gets in the ring, but Penta catches him with a super kick. Penta charges, but Knight attempts a powerbomb. Penta counters with a modified code red. Penta climbs to the ladder, but Americana cuts him off with a German suplex. Rollins gets in the ring, but Americana drops him with a German suplex. Knight meets the same fate as does Sioka. Americana poses before driving Rollins into the ladder. The crowd chants, "That's not Chad Gable." No, it's not. That's Chad Gable. No, it's not. It is Chad Gable. Americana goes under the ring and grabs the fireball ladder. Americana gets the fireball ladder in the ring and puts over his head. Americana does a helicopter spin and wipes everyone out with the ladder. Americana sets the ladder up and starts to climb. Penta climbs on the ladder other side. Americana grabs the briefcase, but Penta headbutts him off. Penta goes for the briefcase, but Rollins cuts him off. Penta kicks Rollins down. As he does, the cameras catch Americana pulling the metal plate under his mask. Penta and Rollins continues to brawl, but before Penta knocks Rollins down, Penta grabs the briefcase for the briefcase. As he does, Knight catapults Americana onto the ladder, leaning against the ring post. Americana scales that ladder, uses the ladder leaning in the corner as a pole vault, and lands on the ladder, and that Penta is climbing. Americana headbutts Penta off with a loaded mask. Knight scales with the ladder and hits Americana with a kamikaze off the ladder. Wow. Rollins is climbing with the fireball ladder. And Andrade tries to stop him, but Rollins knocks him down. Penta starts to climb as Andrade pulls Rollins down and kicks him out of the ring. Andrade and Penta brawl at the top of the ladder until Penta falls. Sioka climbs on the opposite side. Rollins rings the second ladder in and climbs. Andrade knocks Sioka down. Knight pulls Rollins down and clotheslines him over the top rope. Rollins barks for his boys to come out. Yep, this is cheating right here. This is a screw. All of them, everyone they really got screwed. Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker come out. Breaker crushes Americano with a spear at ringside. Reed pulls Penta down and swats him away. Breaker sends Knight over the top rope. Reed hits Andrade hits Andrade. Breaker goes to the outside and hits Knight with a spear on the floor. Reed goes to the top rope and crushes Andrade with a tsunami. Tsunami. What am I saying? U.S. champion Jacob Fatu and Jason Mattar head to the ring. Breaker and Reed wait in the ring for them. A brawl breaks out between them. Breaker knocks Mateo out of the ring. Breaker sends Mateo into the ring post and hits a spear through the barricade. In the ring, Reed is taking it to Fatu. Reed hits the ropes, but Fatu hits a pop-up Samoan drop. Fatu then crushes him with a suicide dive. Fatu points it at Sioka and gets up and gets him in the ring. Sioka is looking extremely confident. They set a ladder up, and Sioka braces Fatu. Sioka starts to climb the ladder, but Fatu turns, and while he looks at Sioka, Fatu grabs Sioka's ankle to a huge ovation. Sioka is confused as a Fatu chant fires up. Fatu shouts, "I hate you." Fatu pulls Sioka and down and super kicks him down. Fatu positions Sioka and hits him with a moonsault. The crowd is going wild for Fatu. Fatu takes a moment before grabbing Sioka on the apron. Fatu then hits Sioka with a spinning solo off the apron and a ladder bridge. Fatu leaves to a nice ovation. Rollins slides a second fireball ladder in the ring. In the first one he had a broken bracket. Rollins starts to climb, but Knight pulls him off the ladder and clubs him down. Knight starts to climb, but Rollins pulls him down. Knight goes for a blunt force trauma. But Rollins slams him off the ladder. Rollins then drops Knight with a stomp. Rollins begins to climb the fireball ladder. Rollins grabs the briefcase and wins Money in the Bank ladder briefcase for a second time in his career. Winner of the 2025 Men's Money in the Bank contract, Seth piece of shit Rollins. Rollins celebrates with the Money in the Bank briefcase along with Paul piece of fat ass Heyman, Ron at Dickhead Breaker, and Big Fat Bronson Reed. You know what? This is all CM Punk's fault. Yeah, CM Punk, this is all your fault. Oh, CM Punk. Come on, man. Why? Why didn't you interfere? Why didn't you prevent Seth Rollins from grabbing the Money in the Bank briefcase? Why didn't you show up? Well, tell you why. I know why. Maybe it's I know why. Because you're attending to Jey Uso. Is that it? Yeah, maybe you're attending Jey Uso. Is that probably why? That's probably why, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Is that probably why you can't came and interfere? CM Punk. It's CM Punk. It's CM Punk. If you would have interfered, Seth Rollins would have never had that briefcase. Well, I learned that a friend of mine told me that the reason why because Jay is hurt and he's set to face Gunther in a rematch for the World Heavyweight title, and it will lead for Seth to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase this Monday night on Raw because it will be Gunther. It will be a rematch for the World Heavyweight title. Gunther versus Jey Uso again this Monday night on Raw. Now hopefully there'll be a rematch between Lyra Valkyrie and Becky Lynch because I hope the referee will see that she used a handful of tights. Becky Lynch. Hold on a second. 1 second, man. Okay, I'm back. As I was saying, it was 11:57 right now. Yeah. I don't know why this asshole had to win tonight. This dickhead. His wife is a slut, and he's an asshole. WrestleMania 42 is returning to Las Vegas on April 18th and 19th of next year, which is stupid. And Nikki Bella's returning to Raw this Monday, and that's stupid. Main event, Jey Uso defending the World Heavyweight title against Gunther, and we all know that asshole Seth Rollins is going to cash in. And we see a video, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena, Logan Paul, which is next. And we go to the tag team match, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, the World Heavyweight Champion, main event, Jey Uso versus Maverick, Logan Paul, or I say the mofo Logan Paul. He's no Maverick. And undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Champion, piece of crap, John Cena. Cody Rhodes will start the match against John Cena. They circle around the ring before Cena tags Logan Paul in. Paul dances around a bit before tagging Cena back in. Rhodes and Cena lock up, and Rhodes hooks the side headlock. Cena backs him into ropes and whips him off. But Rhodes shoulder tackles him. Cena quickly gets up and tags Paul in. Rhodes smirks, and Cena looks nervous on the apron. Paul rolls around and Cena applauds him. Cena does a cartwheel. They lock up, and Rhodes hooks the side headlock. Paul whips him off, but Rhodes shoulder tackles him down. The crowd chants, "We want truth." Rhodes hits the ropes, so Paul drops down with his and leapfrogs him. Rhodes catches him. It's a delayed vertical suplex, vertical front suplex. Rhodes wrenches the arm and then tags the World Heavyweight Champion in. Uso comes off the top rope and clubs Paul's shoulder. Paul quickly rocks him with his loaded right hand. Paul continues to lay in some strikes before Uso hits a pop reverse neckbreaker for a 2 count. Uso gets Paul in the corner and hits 10 punches. Uso does a little dance and lays Paul right in with the right hand. Paul quickly elbows and boots back before going the second rope for a blockbuster. Paul picks up the win, picks up for a 2 count. Cena tags in, the undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Champion. Okay, now it's 12 a.m. Wow. The undisputed the undisputed piece of shit World Wrestling Entertainment Champion punches away at World Heavyweight Champion. But Cena whips Uso hard in the corner, and Uso drops down. There's a dueling chant for Cena. Cena stares at Rhodes, who he defeated at WrestleMania 41. Cena grabs Uso and whips him hard into the opposite corner. The referee gets distracted, so Paul drops an elbow on Uso. The crowd gets into a dueling chant over whether or not Cena can wrestle. Uso reverses a hard whip into the corner and hits Cena sternum first. Paul tags in before Uso can make a tag. Paul connects with a gut rush suplex for a near fall. Cena tags back in. Paul and Cena double team Uso with stomps. Cena talks a little trash to Uso and waits for him to get up to run him over with a clothesline. Cena sizes Uso up and hits a diving shoulder tackle. Cena then mocks the crowd, but they give him a nice ovation. Anyway, Cena hits the ropes and connects with a second shoulder tackle. Uso starts to fight back, but Cena counters with a back suplex powerbomb. Cena hits a 5-knuckle shuffle and sets up an attitude adjustment. Uso slides off and applies a sleeper hold. Cena quickly backs Uso in the corner and falls to the canvas. Cena slowly crawls to the corner and tags Paul in. Paul stops Uso from making a tag. Paul sends Uso into the ropes for a big boot. Paul hits a split leg drop for a 2 count. Paul applies a rear chin lock. Paul clinches it in before Uso starts to fight up. Uso nearly gets to the corner. Paul slings him down. Rose looks frustrated. Paul puts Uso in the corner and punches away at his midsection. Cena tags in and knocks Rose off the apron. Cena punches away at Uso. The referee holds Rose back. So Cena and Paul get a double team choke on Uso. Cena hits Uso with a suplex for a 2 count. Cena applies a rear chin lock. Uso fights up and reaches Rhodes. Cena lets go of the hold and goes to attack Rhodes, but Rhodes knocks him back. Uso then lays Cena out with step up Enziguri. Paul tags in, but Cena tags himself back in. Cena and Paul start to argue a bit. Cena shouts that he's trying to teach him. Cena and Paul start shoving each other as they argue. Uso crawls to the corner and Rhodes tags in. Rhodes hits Paul with a Cena clothesline. Rhodes hits Paul and Cena with clotheslines. Cena reverses a whip to the corner, but Rhodes slingshots him over and hits Paul with a snap power slam. Rhodes kicks Cena and drops down for an uppercut before hitting a Cody cutter. Paul charges, but Rhodes hits a back body drop over the top rope, followed by a suicide dive. Rhodes goes to the top rope and hits Cena with a missile drop kick. Rhodes sets up for a crossroads, but Cena shoves him to a right hand from Paul. Cena hits Rhodes with a double A and covers 1-2. Uso breaks it up. Paul goes for a buckshot lariat, but he trips. He allows Uso to super kick him down. Cena hits Uso with a double A. Rhodes then hits Cena with crossroads. Rhodes covers, but he moves when Paul goes for a springboard splash. Paul lands on Cena instead. Uso then hits Paul with a spear. The crowd is buzzing for this match. All 4 mourning down. Uso gets up and starts to exchange right hands with Uso. Cena kicks him, but Uso connects with an uppercut. Cena goes for a double A, but Uso gets out of it and hits a super kick, knocking Cena out of the ring. Paul also hits Uso with a big hand, but Uso fights back. Paul wipes him out with an uppercut. Rhodes turns Paul around and punches him. They trade hands before Rhodes hits him with stinging left jabs. Paul kicks him before eating a bionic elbow. Paul then hits a pulverizer. Paul goes up to the top rope and calls it the WWE drone over. Paul grabs the drone and holds it, but Rhodes cuts him off. Rhodes hits him with a suplex, and the WWE drone films this. Uso then crushes Paul with an Uso splash. Cena soon hits Uso with a double A before delivering a double A to Rhodes. 1-2, Rhodes kicks out. Cena cannot believe it. Cena grabs Rhodes at ringside and then bounces him off the steel steps. Cena clears off the commentary table for clearing off the Spanish one. Cena stands on the commentary table and lifts Rhodes. Rhodes slides off and Uso leaps off the second table with a spear on Cena. The table does not collapse. Uso is still down on the desk. Paul then dives him off the commentary table and a side moonsault. Wow. Cena gets in the apron with undisputed WWE Championship. Rhodes is getting up. Cena rocks Rhodes with a skull with the undisputed WWE Championship. All of a sudden, the huge figure gets in the ring and spears him down. And guess what? Guess what? And all of a sudden, the hooded figure gets in the ring and gets in the ring and spears him down. Punches away at Cena and picks up the title. It's R-Truth. Wow, R-Truth hits Cena in the face. The undisputed WWE Championship. The crowd is going wild. Rhodes hits Cena with a crossroads 1-2-3. Winners by pinfall, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso celebrate the ring as the show comes to an end. A shocked John Cena watches from the stage. Wow. I thought all this time it it was Goldberg or Edge, but I realized it was it was R-Truth. I mean, R-Truth doesn't spear. I mean that's not a style, and I thought it was Edge because I don't see R-Truth do spears in wrestling rings. I thought he was really gone from WWE, but well, I figured out why he came back, because the fans were chanting "We want truth," and probably CEO Triple H probably went back. CEO brought him back. Yeah, that's probably why he came back. I can see. I can officially see now. Really shocking to me. Very shocking. I didn't expect that last night. And this could lead to a match between Cena and Cody Rhodes, between a match between R-Truth and Cena. Now that'd be a possibility. Now, was Money in the Bank worth watching? Yeah, it was worth watching, but I really kind of hated the fact that they had to shove Seth in our throats, Naomi in our throats, and Becky in our throats. And the only thing I ever was with that they're not again letting R-Truth go. Thanks to Triple H. This is unbelievable. This was both. I say this was a bad. This is a good show and a bad. Both a good and bad show last night. I say somehow Rollins is going to cash in tomorrow Monday in the match between Gunther and Jey Uso. Somehow, some way. Sometime down the road. Just you'll see. Someone's gonna cash in. Seth's gonna cash in. Now, I hope somehow we might be leading into a triple threat match between Gunther, Seth, and Jey. So we probably might Seth will retain like he probably might cheat like he did it in the PG era, like he did in the Ruthless Aggression era, like in the reality era. I did not expect it last night. I did not expect this R-Truth to be back because all this time I thought it was Edge or Goldberg that speared Cena. I bet you sometime there will be a little bit of fighting. There's gonna be a little match between R-Truth and Cena. It might probably lead to a return match for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam between Cena and Cody Rhodes. Wasn't that bad last night? It was both good and bad last night. I think it was I say it was worth watching and not worth watching at the same time. That's what I can say. But that'll do for my review for all of you. Now it's time for something I like to do. I don't know what it's time for. It's time for Hold on a second. You know, Penta really, I say Penta really deserved to have this win at the Money in the Bank last week. By the way, before I finish, before I start do my little thing where I was about to do. I mean, Seth is weak. You know, Seth Rollins is weak, and I think Triple H is not doing what the guys a booker. So LA Knight could have won this match. I mean, Seth didn't really need it at all. By the way, they want to shove old veterans in our throat like Punk. I mean, like Seth, Becky, and Naomi. And I don't know why in the world they had that snot nosed little piece of shit. Dumb had that retained that belt last night. Okay, let's get down to business. As I was saying, let's go. It's time for something I like to do. I know what it's time for. It's time for Justin's timeline of history, all the wrestling birthdays, pop culture, and all that stuff. All you hear the thing in the background. It's the thing from Back to the Future, starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. Can't wait for his 40th anniversary on July the 3rd, 2020, because the movie was released July 3rd, 1985. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So let's go to yesterday, June the 7th. So right quick.
It's real to us.
A second. Okay, see, let's go to June 7th. See, okay, yesterday was a happy 60th birthday to WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley. Howard Finkel turn would have been yesterday. He would have been 75 yesterday. Late Howard Finkel. And superstar Billy Graham, he would have been 82. 82 yesterday. He died of kidney failure May 17, 2023. And the late Sarah Lee, who WWE NXT, who died of a suicide take suicide. June said she would have been who died on October 6, 2022. She would have been 33 yesterday. And the Grand Wizard, and Ernie Roth, the general manager of the Grand Wizard, Brandon's Grand Wizard, he would have been wait a minute. Wait, that was his birthday. It wasn't yesterday. Sorry, I'm mistaken. Pop culture, couple of movies releasing. Some wrestling history. On Friday Night Titans. Vince McMahon hosted on Friday Night Titans with Lower Alfred Hayes. Guests include Jesse the Body Ventura, WWE Hall of Famer, Bruno Sammartino, late Bruno Sammartino, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. And he interviews and we see a segment where Mean Gene Okerlund interviews Lisa Siwa, who was all of you know, she was like a general assignment reporter for Channel 5 for Fox 5 in New York City, hosted Street Travers, and Lisa she was interviewing Mean Gene Okerlund back. She had a tryout. She attempted to become a pro wrestler in WWE. WWE, she appeared on Friday Night Titans when she was interviewed with Mean Gene Okerlund and just terminated several self-defense holds. Yeah, that's what happened. That's how it all happened. Then pop culture, couple of movies released in theaters nationwide. Perfect, starring John Travolta and Jamie Lee Curtis. Supporting cast in this movie includes Mary Lou Hunt was in this movie from TV's Taxi. And then one movie was released in theaters that I just mentioned, one of the best cult classic movies of the 80s, The Goonies. Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, Corey Feldman, Academy Award winner Ke Huy Quan, Martha Plimpton, Jeff Cohen. One of the best movies of the 80s. Very good movie. I like that movie. The best movies of the 80s. Very good. All-time cult classic. Very good movie, man. I know JD, who grew up in the 80s, remembers that movie. Very good movie, The Goonies. I mean, it was a friend of mine from Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. Remembers that movie, The Goonies. And see what else. Okay, on June the 7th, 1985, Game 5, Boston Celtics The LA Lakers defeated Boston Celtics 120 to 111. The Lakers beat the Lakers beat the Celtics on 100. Lakers beat the Celtics 120 to 111 in Game 5 of the '85 NBA Finals. Yeah, it was from the former in Inglewood, California. Yeah, Inglewood, California. That was when. Yeah, that was when the day. That was Yeah, that's where Inglewood is the same place that took place where the Money in the Bank took place last night. Inglewood, California. Yeah, that's a fun fact. And let's see what else. Any other kind of sports. Hold on 1 second. Okay, Game 1 in 1995 NBA Finals began on NBC, where the Houston Rockets beat the Orlando Magic 120 to 118. The Houston Rockets beat the Orlando Magic 120 to 118. See, trying to see any other kind of sports. Another piece of sports for June 7th. Game 2 of the 2015 NBA Finals. Game 2, June 7th. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Golden State Warriors 95 to 93. Oakland Ring 93. Series is tied 1-1. Yeah. And that's it. That was it. That's it for my little review. That'll do it for my review, and that'll do it for my review for this midnight. It's 12:27 in the morning, and so all of you can follow me, subscribe to me anytime. And hope all of you have a good morning. It's midnight. I'm getting some sleep. Money in the Bank was both bad, good and bad. Bad and good last night. So subscribe to Godfather Soldier and Slimming. It's late chance, sharp salad, dress up like Chevy Checker, sing like Lionel Richie, James like James Brown, like they get in that hot tub. Gonna be sweat, gonna be dry, gonna be wet. Eddie Murphy doing the impression of James Brown saying live back in the 80s. I never grew up in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s. I seen old school Saturday Night when I was little. Now this midnight I'm going to close out the show with a little bit of music for all of you. It's midnight. I'm going to close out the show with this #1 hit single from 1985. called Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. One of the best songs of the 80s. So I hope all of you have a good morning. Give them some sleep. Good night, everybody. Have a good morning, everybody. And catch me tomorrow doing my little Raw review. Tomorrow night. I'm out of here. Peace. And here's something to close out the show with this midnight. Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. #1 hit single from 40 years ago, 1985. Good night, everybody. Have a good morning, everybody. It's midnight. Peace.